Hey everyone, welcome to Esport Canada. Melissa Burns here, and we are going to get things started in just a couple moments. So if you are joining us, welcome here. We are going to have a fun little get to know you with a few of our panelists who are going to be joining us for our Engaging Girls in Esports panel discussion that will be held next week, Wednesday. So before we get into things, just as always, I'm going to take a moment to have our land acknowledgement. Esport Canada brings together a community of gamers on traditional Indigenous land. While we meet on a virtual platform, we respect the treaties made on this land and acknowledge the harms and mistakes of the past and present. We dedicate ourselves to authentic alliances with Indigenous communities in a spirit of reconciliation and cooperation. So just like that, we are going to jump into things. So to kind of preface this before we jump into the call with everybody, what we are going to be doing is we're hosting a panel discussion on what it's like to be a woman in esports, and not just specifically in esports, but in the STEM field, in the tech industry, and specifically in esports. So in an education space, we have noticed, a lot of us teachers, I myself am a teacher, have noticed that all of our girls are gaming, but then when we have that competitive space, they're not showing up to compete and play on school teams, and we're not really sure why. And so part of this panel discussion is going to be looking at why that is, how we can help change things and provide a better community for our students, and then also just to ask some questions about what it's like in the industry, how to get into it, what we gain from it, and learn about some women who are doing some really incredible things. So with all that in mind, and I forgot to mention, we also want you to ask your questions. So either as a class or as individuals, feel free to head over to www.esportcanada.org, and you'll be able to submit your questions on our main page there. And we're going to jump into our conversation now. So I'm going to jump into the call myself.
It happens. Okay,
Thanks for being here, everybody.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So I know some of us know each other in other ways through different various communities. We were just having a chat about cameras a minute or so earlier. But as we kind of take a look here, just so we can be a little more familiar with each other, I'm not even going to lie. On my second monitor, you're going to see me peeking over there a lot. I have a cheat sheet of names and gamer tags because I'm so awful with names. And my students will tell you that any day. I'm absolutely awful with names. So if you see me like do a quick flash, that's a my bad. But I'll do it less telling than I just did right now. But I don't know. Should we do some introductions before we fire up some Jackbox and get to know each other a little bit more?
Yeah, I think
on the personal side.
I think you should start though.
I should start with my introductions.
With your introduction, who are you? Tell us about you, Nathan.
Who am I? I'm the male on the stream right now. No, it's my name is Nathan Koblin. I'm a teacher. I'm a coach. I coach esports at my school. I've been roped into more on the planning and organizing side. So I've run a couple of Rocket League seasons that are for our province, and run. I'm about to start running one for that's Canada wide. But this all kind of started because I would just, as a dad as well, I started taking a look at how my wife and I were playing video games together, and noticing a huge difference between how she was being treated in chat compared to how I was, and it was over my head until she started calling it, and it just started to nag at me, and this kind of came from that drive. So yeah, I'm a dad, a teacher, a coach, and just really happy that so many people are willing to sacrifice and volunteer their time to have what I think is a really important conversation for all coaches and students to hear.
Well, and I want to just like call out the fact that this idea and this particular event was a male idea, and I like that you are being so openly supportive of and recognizing that it's a problem, because a lot of times it's helping people to recognize that there are discrepancies, and so I appreciate that about you. Thank you for seeing us.
No problem. I'll pass the baton over to why don't we go Sarah, who's actually the person who, she probably still doesn't even know it, but was actually the person whose stream I was in when the idea hit me, and she talked me through the idea of starting up a panel. So this is half her fault as well.
Fault. Oh no. But yeah, I am Sarah, but on Twitch I'm like Valor RL. I started streaming about a year and a half ago, kind of like when COVID started going like full swing. I was at home playing video games, mostly Rocket League anyway, so I just kind of started up streaming. And I got partnered in about 4 months. I still stream full time now. I've been playing video games since like, I don't know, the 5th grade maybe. Even earlier than that, if you're counting like, handhelds like the Game Boy and the first Nintendo DS and that kind of stuff. But I really got into like online gaming with like early Call of Duty games starting in like, I don't know, around 5th grade.
Cool.
Yeah. I don't know where else to go.
That was great. I'm just waiting for Nathan to take over.
I wanted to leave like a really awkward pause there as the first person I had the baton. No, I'm really sorry, Sarah. I should have jumped
He's
in
also
sooner.
a teacher, so like that awkward wait time is like something he's specialized in.
So you're kind of waiting, saying like, "Oh, am I supposed to keep going?" Okay,
Right.
hold on. Is there something more?
No, it's all good. Yeah, we're waiting for like the 3 key words here. You'll get there. No, it's that's great. Okay, well, why don't we jump over? So again, we got the Rocket League side. Um, when we had our conversation with Sarah, she gave me a list of people who she thought would be good people to jump in, and Nikki Justine's name came up, and so we can why don't we pass the baton over there?
Yeah, of course. Well, I kind of have the same story as Sarah. I did also start streaming during COVID. I was still in college at the moment. I was in my junior year, and I just needed something to pass the time, so I started streaming. I also got partner, I think, in probably that 4-month time period, and that's really how me and Sarah met. Was kind of having those similarities through our like passion of Rocket League, and then kind of streaming at around the same time and stuff. So it really we became friends that way, and it's been super awesome ever since. And yeah, I'm also a full-time streamer. I went full-time when I graduated college in May. So yeah.
Cool.
Very cool. Very cool. That see, Nikki Justine gave me a mute button that showed me right away. It's like, hey, I'm done. Step in.
No, I mean, I wish I had anything more like interesting to say. I mean, I feel like our stories are so similar, but yeah, I really admire what you guys are doing, because it really is a prevalent issue for sure. And I love talking about the discrepancies between like women and men in gaming, and it's just something I'm personally passionate about. So yeah.
Okay, I do have a follow-up question for Sarah and Nikki. What were you studying?
I studied business management and marketing.
Cool.
Yeah, I have a bachelor's of science in health or health studies.
Very cool.
Yeah. So that after those conversations, I guess we could jump over to Jamie Karma, who while as Nikki Justine kind of pointed out, this is something that a lot of people have been talking about this last month, being a very important month for women in gaming for sure. It's been all over Twitter, and actually I think the first time Jamie that I saw you was like actually on screen, I think was the Radiant broadcasting that you were doing. You were doing some shoutcasting for a Rocket League tournament. So why don't you introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name's Jamie. I'm known as Karma online. I have been gaming for a long time, like since I was about 13. I got injured playing a sport that I was really good at, and found Call of Duty to take over that competitiveness for me, because I was born with a medical condition, so I got sidelined due to that. And yeah, I fell in love with Call of Duty. I got signed to Team Caliber's first PC team when I was like 15, which is almost 15 years ago. But esports wasn't even a thing back then. It was just like you got paid like $25 a month and you got to put TK in your name, which was like the coolest thing ever. My parents didn't let me go to anything. They hated the fact that I played video games. Then I started streaming because I got accused of hacking. So I just decided to start streaming on Twitch to show that I was not hacking. I didn't have a mic or anything. I just threw the game up there. And I streamed since like 2013, 2014. I've never really gone full time with it. I have streamed here and there, but I've never really committed to a schedule or anything, even though I really enjoy it. I started playing Hearthstone. I'm starting to lose track of the years. In like 2014, I think. And then accidentally became pro in that because I won a tournament that I entered in, and then I entered another one for fun and won that one. So that was
Very
pretty cool.
Queen's Gambit of you.
Yeah, I don't know how I entered it as just like a joke, because it was a qualifier for a world championship and anyone could do it. So I was just like, I guess I'll do it.
You just gotta pitch it to Netflix.
Yeah, exactly. And I ended up doing pretty good. And I didn't qualify for Worlds, but I was on the mainstream for like my whole run, because I used to put on sunglasses when I would kill people in the game, like the final hit, and it became a meme on Reddit, and my stream really took off from there. But then after Hearthstone, I went into Rocket League, and I got on a team for the first RLCS, but we struggled. And I struggled finding a team at all, and I didn't understand why, because I was really high rated, and I constantly never got picked for teams. I never even got tryouts, really. The only way I was able to play was with players who weren't proven, even though I had been proving myself since the beginning. And if I'm talking too much, please stop me.
No, this is great.
So then I became a caster. I started casting the World Championships season 3, season 4, and I did DreamHack stuff casting. And I kept playing, and then I turned into a player when I got signed by Splice as a content creator. Ended up winning a tournament with my teammate for fun, and then we got signed to a pro team. And then I became a pro player for the past like 5 years. All while kind of streaming, but not as much as I'd like to, because it's really hard to balance for me. And yeah, now I kind of am just floating around. I don't really have a path right now. So that's my gaming history in a nutshell.
Yeah, but it's been cool that well, first off, when I had mentioned your name, a buddy of mine that I play Rocket League with a ton, what Karma, like that was a girl. I knew her from Splice, and then we went back and looked up at some of the stuff, and legit, like he knew you from your work. So that was kind of a cool shout out. I'm like, oh, okay, I did find somebody, and then I watched your stream and saw you do rings, and I cried a little and unplugged my controller and threw it against the wall. Said I quit this game.
Yeah, that's my thing.
That's your
I like doing
thing.
that.
That's
Little
not your
speed
thing.
runs.
You are amazing. Anyway, I'm getting off track here. But again, like so grateful for you. Again, 2 weeks, 3 weeks ago, you were in front of RLCS cameras, or was doing some streaming online, or no, Radiant was
Yeah,
almost,
that's a Dig Pass branch.
yeah,
Yeah, so
that's
they were putting on a women's tournament, and me and two other girls and 2 RLCS casters were doing that event. Yeah.
and Nikki Justine was actually there on team with us, right?
Yes, I was.
Yeah, Nikki was there.
Yeah, Nikki was there. So
I don't think I got to cast your games, unfortunately.
No, I actually
But-
we didn't. I mean, yeah, I don't think you actually casted any of them. Now that I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, sad times.
I
I was like the person that they didn't put on in the morning, and Nikki was grinding in the morning, so.
Mm.
Yeah,
Oh.
it was honestly long games. Like there was like so long, like 30 minutes, sometimes 45 minutes in between matches. It
Wow.
ended up going pretty long. It was crazy.
Yeah, it was a great tournament though. They did a great job.
Oh
The
yeah.
interviews were super awesome. Like some of the best parts of the event. The women interviewers are so much better than the men interviewers. It's not even funny.
Oh yeah, when I did that with them, when I did it with Jewel and Chrissy, I was literally like, this feels so natural, like they really know what they're doing. And I met the woman who interviewed us through Dignitas, because it's kind of like their kind of branch from that. But she was like so sweet, and she like really knew what she was doing, and everyone there was just so professional and so awesome.
Yeah, Digger great.
Oh. Well, thank you guys so much, and we're gonna jump over to Kale.
Kayla.
Kayla, how's it going?
Hello. Um, I don't even know how to start with this. I guess like one connection is I also have like a health background, so I have Bachelor of Science in Kinesiology. I'm currently doing my Master's of Science in Kinesiology, where I'm researching biomechanics and looking at injury risk in how people interact with their mouse, specifically in gaming. So I've kind of made like my hobbies, my passions, and like mixed like my love for academia like together. But apart from that, I've been gaming since I was like casually like literally 5. Like I remember playing like Nintendo 64, playing like Pokemon Stadium like in my bedroom like as a kindergartner, and then like playing like GameCube games all alone. And then once I was in elementary school, I can't remember like years or anything, but that was when I started playing Call of Duty online, and I had like a friend group and stuff, and I would only ever talk with them, and I was always afraid to always speak out, um, like ever speak out in like team or party chat or outside of party chat and just stay talk in the team because that was really scary. Anytime they'd hear a girl talk, it was terrifying. Um, and then after that, I stopped playing Xbox as I was in high school, I focused only on sports, which I guess explains my kinesiology background. Once I got back into or once I started university, my friends were playing League of Legends, and I had kind of heard of it, but like not really heard of it. I ended up getting a laptop where I could play League, and that was when I like started to really get into gaming. And I kind of saw like the community side, like yeah, League of Legends is pretty toxic, but I met a lot of really good friends that I still talk to now. But I was also really into mobile gaming, so anything Supercell related, I was absolutely hooked. And I would look at I would watch content creators throughout high school, and I was like, man, like I have all of these cool ideas. I wish I could do that, and I just didn't have the technology or anything to do it. And then once I got to university, I was like, I'm saving up for a PC, and I built a PC to play League of Legends, and so that I could stream mobile games. And then from there, I've been streaming for about 3 years. I was doing it consistently for a couple years, but um, every time school gets busy, like I haven't really been streaming because grad school is a lot harder than I thought it would be. Um, but basically, I did a lot of streaming, and then my school had a posting for a student broadcast coordinator. And one of the recommendation or like one of the recommended skills was if you have your own stream with a set schedule, like you should please apply. And my friend who was on the league team was like, "Hey, Kayla, you should apply to this." And I ended up applying, and I think I was probably the only person who applied because I got into the interview and I knew nothing. He was like, "Spectate a game of League," and I was like, "I don't know how to do this." um, but they're like, "You know what? It's fine. You know how to run a broadcast. Like you've streamed on your own." So they gave me a chance. I ended up spending a year as their broadcast coordinator, where I learned a lot of like so many skills. And I got lucky enough to finally do a Valorant game. And this was the hardest broadcast I've ever done. Observing is completely different because I did Rocket League where it has an auto director, so I didn't really have to do anything. And then League also has an auto director, so I was like just kind of chilling. And then they're like, do Valorant. And that was when I fell in love with the production side of things. So since then, I've been working on bigger events as a producer slash technical director, along with an observer in Valorant. Um, Typically, I don't have a lot of time to commit to these gigs, but lately the main ones I've been doing are like all of the like female only tournaments. So like Sakura Cup with Knights have been like the main ones that I've been working with. Unfortunately, I don't have a PC working right now, so I won't be able to do the next Sakura Cup. Um, and I've just been trying to create like a community that is like very welcoming and loves gaming because I don't know, I'm not a huge like sit there and play on my own type of gamer. Like I do like playing in like with friends and like building that community. Um yeah, I'm not really sure where else to go with that, but basically like current state is I am building up production wise because I love kind of creating that side of the show. So I guess Karma, I can't remember your other name, but or your real name, but like I like
Jamie,
that.
Jamie.
Jamie, thank you. But yeah, so like I'm like the other side. So like I do like the observing and the producing, whereas you do the casting, and I really do like that side of esports. And then I do like enjoying games, and then with my passion for kinesiology and like ergonomics and biomechanics, I'm hoping to help gamers like excel in their performance and not get injured so they can have longer careers and stuff. And that's kind of where I've bridged my love for everything. Yeah.
Super cool.
Hmm. Yeah, and I think that's a big part of this conversation. I'm gonna go super quick here. We transition to Melissa, who can hopefully introduce some of our in absentias and herself as well. But trying to make sure that this conversation isn't just coming from one side of esports, right? Like it's there's so many different ways, both for women to look at esports as an entrance point and be able to kind of capture all the different roles that happen as part of this conversation to me was really important. And again, so grateful for so many different backgrounds to participate. Melissa, why don't you jump in here? I have a
Sure.
game open in the background.
I mean, we
So
don't have
if
to.
we might not get to it. I
That's
don't, I
okay.
want to be respectful of people's times. I
Yeah.
said 30 minutes. We're at 20, 25. So I want to be respectful of time, but
All right. Well,
go for it.
My
I'll be.
fault.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I just said it's my fault. I talked too much. That's all I was
No,
gonna
not
say.
at all. This
No.
has been really great. Okay, so I'll tell you a little bit about my background. I'll try and be brief, and then I'll give you some exciting updates about our panel discussion for next week as well. But I've been gaming for forever. I never was very competitive with it. It wasn't something that was super encouraged in my household. So like we never owned a gaming console. I would go, and I remember one time, I think I was like 8 years old, and my parents had called me home for dinner, and I was trying to beat the final boss of Donkey Kong Country. And I stayed until like 9 o'clock at night. And my parents were furious, and I got grounded for a month. But I actually, before going into education, becoming a teacher, I actually was in performance. I did a degree in opera, ended up doing musical theater professionally for many years. And while I was on the road, because when you do show business, you are in a new city every few nights, I was seeing someone from back home in Winnipeg. And because we couldn't be together, and this was back before you could have those like stream together on Netflix and stuff like that, we would play League of Legends, and that was something that we would do together all the time. And it was always fun because we would switch off between ADC and SUP, and we always played bot lane together, and it was our thing. And then when I came and we got married and we ended up back in Winnipeg and I switched into teaching, he had been already coaching high school esports since 2012, which was super early in the game. Like nobody else in Canada was doing it. It was all American. But he started doing that. And then a few years later, back in 2016, I was like, well, why? I was in a middle school. And I was like, why aren't we doing this at middle school? Like, you can go pro at like 16. So why are we starting them in grade 9 when they're already 14 years old? Like, let's start them earlier. That we do that for all the other traditional sports. So let's start it earlier. So I started a program, the first middle school program in Canada for esports. And grew that program to become a national or a provincial organization, and then I was able to found Esport Canada in 2020, just prior to the pandemic, and it was really small at the beginning, but it's been growing really rapidly, and we're excited to get to do more stuff like this with people and just grow the community and grow esports everywhere in all different aspects, and really trying to find a voice for people who are otherwise marginalized. So like we do a lot of work with trying to connect with our Indigenous communities, with our underserved populations, with minorities, with our LGBTQ plus communities and women, and just really trying to lift them up and give them a space where they can belong and feel safe. So that's me in a nutshell, very briefly. And what was that?
And I think we could. I said I think we could probably again we could point people to the website for those who couldn't make it. We could do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've got bios listed on everybody, including these awesome ladies who are here as well.
Yep.
So that's definitely a place. www.esportcanada.org is where you will find more information there, as well as what else can people who are watching this do, Melissa, to interact with us?
Okay, so on our website, you can obviously read about all the incredible women who are going to be speaking for us. All their bios are available there. And then we also want people to actually interact by sending us questions. So you can scroll down a little bit further on the main page and you'll be able to add in your own questions and find out what you're curious about. So we're really excited about that. We also have a Rocket League season coming up, which is very exciting. And we've got League of Legends coming up later this year as well. So lots of fun stuff coming.
Very cool, very cool.
Before we cut it off, though, I will say a couple of exciting things that our panelists don't necessarily know about yet. Nathan, I haven't had a chance to tell you yet either.
Oh.
So I had mentioned that
mystery surprises on stream. Okay.
Oh yeah. Okay. So I want to make sure that I remember there's a school division in Ottawa area. I think it's the Ottawa area. Oh, I need to check this to make sure that I remember which school division it is.
The great country of Canada. I don't know how long I can stall this one for you.
HCDSB. They're going to be using our panel discussion as part of their STEAM week. So all the schools for the entire week, they get to register for it, but there are over 10,000 students that have registered for using our panel discussion as part of their STEAM week activities, which is really exciting. So huge audience there, plus lots of others across the country. And I just got word from some friends in Mexico through the education community that they're going to be streaming and translating our panel for the Mexican community as well. So we are going to be all across the place.
Well, wow, that's insane.
I was like, Nathan, you're muted. I can't hear your excitement. We are being translated into Spanish now.
I'm being translated in.
Not currently.
Not at this moment. But
the one next week is going to be translated into Spanish. They want to co-stream ours, so they'll stream it, but they'll have an interpreter that will be interpreting what we're saying as we go. So very cool.
That is awesome.
Very cool.
Well, we're at 8:32. I want to be very respectful of everybody's time. So, again, I want to thank everybody for coming out. If anybody does want to stick around, I'm happy to throw a Jackbox game on. I've got one queued up. Again, Kayla, I wasn't quite sure if Jackbox will work with your current setup or not.
It will. I do have a huge assignment due tomorrow, so I might not stay so that I can work on it. I mean, I feel like as you guys are teachers, you understand.
we understand.
Yeah.
So and there's absolutely nothing along there at all. Again, like I did say 30 minutes.
Call it a night, and then we'll see everybody next week. Sound good, everybody?
I'm cool.
Mm-hmm. That sounds good. Sorry, I left. My Discord just crashed.
Oh, okay.
You guys
I assumed it was your crazy cat. Like that's
no,
just
Simba
what
didn't do anything.
Wasn't Simba this time?
Well, he might have. He would do something like that.
I live for your cat stories. It gets me through some days.
Yeah, he's a menace.
I love it. All right. Well,
Awesome.
thank you so much, everybody, for joining us tonight and for letting us hear a little bit about your stories. And we can't wait to continue this conversation next week.
And if I can leave you guys with anything, I just want to say again, like, even for all of you who are still here, like you've mentioned that you do streaming, and sometimes you might, it feels like a grind or it feels, but like you do inspire stuff, and this came out of a stream that I just happened to be going through, and the only reason I was actually going through, Sarah, your stream was because Rocket League was doing the free drops during that
Yeah,
month when
yeah.
they were doing the drop, and I
Oh
was
my
just
God.
cycling through trying to hit my 7 free drops, and you were just like talking about something that just kind of inspired it, and like
That's cool.
the you guys have access to a really interesting population, and just keep doing what you're doing, and stuff like this can come out of it, and it's really cool to be a part of it.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Cool. Thank you guys. We'll see you next week.
All right. See you next week, everybody.
Nice to
Sounds
meet
great.
everybody.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Likewise.